Torah Vayechi, page 90. Okay. The Alter Rebbe is in the middle of explaining. Okay, we're second column. We already started the second column. Okay, we'll see in a second. The Alter Rebbe, The Alter Rebbe is explaining Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. In order to come to Hapam Eidas Hashem, total bittul, you first need the level of Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, which is the first parshat Shema, second parshat Shema, Vayechi, V'nochem, Kan, V'yosha. Then you come to the level of Shmoneser, the Amida, which is the level of bittul. And then he explained that those three are in the level of Mamala Kol Almin, and then Yehuda is the level of bittul, which is to serve of Kol Almin, which is a much greater level. And therefore he says, okay, let's start the beginning of the second column, paragraph. Through this, your hand is on the neck of your enemy. Your enemy refers to the necessities of Gashmias. Even though a person needs to eat and sleep, you need all those things. They're necessities. They have to be secondary, not primary. In other words, we don't live to eat. We eat in order to live to serve Hashem. This we learned already. Like it says, okay? This Yerida into Gashmias, this descent into the Gashmiastic world, it has to be only in a level that is external, as if you're forced. Okay? This is almost where we're up to. Okay, so Migadim Laham Shechas Adam. It says like this: the person's attitude has to be, why do I have to eat and drink? Only one reason. Hashem wants me to, because then I can live like a Jew. It's not because I invite Vadem Eis Hashem Umiyodei Eis Azeis. And this came from Hashem, this Kaf Yechashechel and Nehela, to transform darkness to light. She is followed, but that you should dabble with that power. Meaning, a person has to, this is a lofty level, but a person needs to feel, at least the goal, a person needs to feel that Gashmi is my enemy. Because it could drag me down to a very low level. I can become mundane and corrupt and everything else. The only the only reason Hashem gave us Gashmi is because Hashem needs that the neshama should stay in the body. And he set it up in a way that in order for that to happen, we have to eat the food. Why did he set it up that way? Because he wants us to elevate the food to Kedusha. But a person needs to feel and realize that the only reason we need to eat because Hashem wants us to eat. Not because I like it, I enjoy it, all the temptations.
Rabbi,
What?
some people have only a tube in their stomach and they get the food through that. There's no enjoyment whatsoever. Is that the goal? To have knowledge Hashem made us?
No, that's not the way we...
Hashem wants us to enjoy it also, no? Like, is there a way to
He wants us to enjoy it because otherwise we wouldn't eat it. But again, we don't live to eat.
It goes beyond that.
We eat to live. Instead, there are a lot of people, you walk in the street, you walk in the elevators, all you hear about what they ate and where they're going and what they did. That's exactly what Alter Rebbe is speaking we shouldn't do. A person, that doesn't mean we're on a level of dafki eating food that we hate. That's not our avodah. Our avodah is, yes, you can eat, enjoy the food. Like we said many times, Chassidus explains, there's two temptations the Eibishter made very strong and powerful. One is eating. It was in intimacy levels, yeah? So it says, why did Eibishter make those desires so strong? Because if a person wouldn't have an enjoyment and a desire to eat, we would never eat the food and we wouldn't elevate it. And the purpose is to elevate the food. If a person didn't have desires and sexual issues and all that, then we wouldn't procreate because, what do you need it for? Who wants to, that's what it is. But one second, but the main thing is that the person to understand that that's secondary, it's not primary. Why is the secondary thing there? In order to come to the primary, Hashem made us do the secondary. What?
Also gave us the ability to overcome our temptation to get overly indulged in those
That's what I
pleasures.
said. We shouldn't live to eat. We need to eat to live. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the food that you're eating.
But he gave us also...
That's the free choice.
As well.
Yes.
Shabbos, we have an obligation to enjoy it.
Huh?
On Shabbos, we have an obligation.
Shabbos, because eating is a mitzvah, so therefore there's an obligation. Yeah, but not to overdo it.
Oh, come
There's
on.
the famous story. There was a chassid that was, the word is Streimel and the works. So the Baal Shem Tov once showed his students a vision of an ox sitting on Shabbos with a Streimel on his head. And the Baal Shem Tov explained there was this certain person who was so overly indulged in the meat, where's the beef, that he became an ox. He literally, because that's what his whole desire was, an ox. The garment of Shabbos stayed. So it was an ox wearing a Streimel. That's what we're talking about here.
No wonder I looked at that.
Creative, the shir was so profound. But what it means is, what does Dalt Rebbe say? Dalt Rebbe says, what does this mean? That this desire shouldn't come into a pnimis, meaning the primary desire, ala b'chinas erev, only at the back of the neck, and in a way of yocha b'chinas yadcha yedecha, b'chinas yadcha shel Yehuda, the hand of Yehuda, which is bittul, that should overcome the gashmiistic things, the enemies. Visha b'chinas bittul, hidol bittul, in the level of Seviv Kol Almin. Hashavo Mashva, that everything is equal, the highest and the lowest. Gam Cheshach Leyashach, in such a level of Kedusha, darkness doesn't darken. V'chashecha Ka'eran, the dark becomes light, Gashmis, Ruchni, Shavim, and physical and spiritual all equal. Shaykulim, V'chachma, Sidar, is Gashmis. V'imkeina, Achila, V'shayin, Yonim, Agashmim, and the funny of his Barakmei, Ruchni, Shachachma. Therefore, by that person, eating becomes spiritual. Eating is spiritual because he's only eating because Hashem wants us to eat. That's the advantage of Yehuda Ata, the level of Haidah. Then what happens? By the way, we learned this yesterday. But nevertheless, it leaves after davening. So he says the ultimate goal is that even after davening, a mark of the davening remains for the day. Okay, so he says like this. What causes all the milas of Yehuda? Because it says like this. Yishtachvu l'cha b'nei avicha. That's what the pasuk says. You can't say b'nei imecha because there are different mothers. So it says about Yehuda ati yiducha achecha. At the end of the pasuk says, "Yishtachvu l'cha b'nei avicha." What does that mean? Yishtachvu b'chinas hamshachim. Bowing is also bringing down, because what happens when you bow? Your head comes down. You're bringing it down lower. Which are hamshachas. So what does it mean? Avicha. Yishtachvu l'cha means you should bring it down, because bowing brings it down. B'nei avicha. What is avicha? Kerachim of abanim. Avinu of Rachman, the concept of Rachmanis. Shachman is a bechinas av. We're told this Rachman is a bechinas zaka v'chesed. So he says like this. What's the offshoot of Rachmanis? Remember, we learned many times. Yaakov redeems Avraham. Rachmanis brings out tzedakah v'chesed, brings out ahava. Shakol eisa chesed b'midas adin. Midas arachim. The rachim alanim v'yiseimin. That's the level of b'nei avicha. Right? Av, it represents rachmanis. Even though normally av is chochma, but over here, karachim of abanim, av is the level of rachmanis. Avino of rachman. Right? Av is the level of rachmanis. It says when a person does aveda with midas arachimim, that's bringing down b'nei avicha. They're bringing down the level of rachmanis, which is teferes, by the way, which is higher than chesed and gvura. It brings it down to a low level, and that says v'gam chinas avicha is Torah derais b'chochma nafka, which is the level of av. Like it says shema avicha b'shema b'ni musar avicha is Torah shebiksav. In other words, it says like this. The pasuk says, "Shema b'ni musar avicha, v'al titesh Torah simecha." Listen, my son, to the admonishment of your father, and don't forsake Torah simecha, the Torah of your mother. So what is?
The other rounds.
Relax. So So what does it mean? What does it mean? Shema b'ni Musar Avicha. What's the difference? Both are Torah. Musar Avicha is Torah, and Al Titesh Torah is Imecha. But one says Avicha, and one says Imecha. Avicha, the Alter Rebbe explains over here, is Torah Shebiksav. Al Titesh Torah is Imecha refers to Torah Shebal Peh. Why is Torah Shebiksav father and Torah Shebal Peh Bina, which are basically father and mother? Yeah. So this is very simple. Torah Shebiksav is very brief. Yeah, Torah says, don't do work on Shabbos. Right? Lo yisasim malacha. That's very brief. It's like the father gives the sperm, the seed, a drop, a tipa. Then the mother broadens it. Torah Shebal Peh takes the concepts of Torah Shebiksav and broadens it. That's the level of mother. So Torah Shebiksav is called Avicha. Shema b'ni Musar Avicha represents Torah Shebiksav. Titesh Torah Imecha refers to Torah Shebal Peh. Just like the father and the father gives the seed, a drop, which is minimal, and then the mother broadens it in a form of bina, of understanding. Therefore, Torah Shebiksav is Chochmah, and Torah Shebal Peh is bina, is a level of understanding. And he says also, "Ubnei Avicha meis k'meter yishtachu b'nei Avicha." She'em eis k'meter g'motz chasadim, heim yishtachu l'cha, they should bow to you, v'yamshichu eisa, and they should reveal it in the level of Nortz Chilasim B'Seifon, She'ateiru g'motz chasadim, give the koyach and the person le'eder eso'ava v'yira, to awaken love and fear, until the extent it becomes a level of Eidah, and then it becomes a level of Yehuda Atta. Atta means it's here, present in front of our eyes, that complete level of Bittul. Okay, basically that finishes the Maimed. Okay, so he says like this: what is the concept of Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, Yehuda? First you need Riyah, then you need Shmiya, then you need the level of Levi, and then you finally come to the level of Bittul. What's the level of Bittul? That we realize that the whole Gashmius is only external, secondary. In order to do the primary, we need to do the secondary. And like we said, the Mashal Chassidus gives, a person wants to work. That's not primary, that's secondary. The purpose you want to work is to make money, to live. So therefore, the working is not primary. Oh, my whole life is to work. So you know what happens? You work, you're a workaholic, forget about family, forget about davening, forget about learning, forget about everything else. That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose of work. That's very negative. The purpose of work is to live like a Jew. So that can take away, like the Rebbe explains many sikhs. If the purpose of making money is to live like a Jew, so how can making money go against Yiddishkeit? Like working on Shabbos or cheating or whatever it may be. Yeah, he says, how could that be if the whole purpose of work is to make a living, to live like a Jew? So how could working go against Yiddishkeit? It's a contradiction of terms. Okay, next. Okay, second. Okay, next, Memvav at the bottom. This member we also learned last year. The pasuk says like this: he's going to tie. There's going to be such abundance of wine, of grapes grown. He's going to tie to the vineyard Irai his donkey, La Sereka, and also to the type of a vine branch. B'nei Asayne, he's going to tie his donkey, meaning there's going to be such an abundance of vines and grapes and everything that they're going to tie their animals to it. Another day like this, you're very careful, you're not to ruin the grapes. There's going to be such an abundance, they're going to tie their donkeys to it as a parking spot.
The eyes is going to be red.
Yeah, well, that's the next thing. That's the Kibbutz is Bayayin Levushay. He's going to wash his clothing in wine. And that's like, it'll be such an abundance, you use it to wash clothing. In America, is that namely Mesa Mashiach. This is all part of the brach of Yehuda, by the way. So this refers to Yemesa Mashiach. When is that going to happen? When Mashiach comes. It ain't happening now. When Mashiach comes. Before it says, Yosef Shevet mi Yehuda. Ad ki yavei Shila, until Mashiach comes. V'lo yikasamim. And to him nations will gather. Then it's going to be Eisri Lagef and Ire. So he says, and explain all this all means in a spiritual sense. What does it mean? He's going to tie his donkey there, and then why? Obviously, it's very nice physically, but what does all this mean spiritually? So he says, and the Indian is like this. Chazal tells us in the Gemara, the only difference between now and the days of Mashiach is going to be there won't be Jews in Golus. The Jews won't be enslaved to the Goyim. And here the Alter Rebbe is saying, what the Rebbe explains in many sichas, there's two eras when Mashiach comes. There's Yemesa Mashiach, and then there's Eilam Haba. Yemesa Mashiach is the first 40 years after Mashiach comes. It's not going to be Tchias HaMesim yet, of the masses. Mashiach coming. 40 years, there'll be a Beis HaMikdash, everything, but the only change will be, but the world will still run naturally. There won't be any supernatural stuff. But the world will not have any Golus. There won't be any Shibud Malchias. After that is what's called Eilam Haba, and that's Eilam Atchiyah. Which is the Matan Schor Shel Tzadikim, which is the ultimate reward of the Tzadikim. Aval Yemeis HaMashiach U'Bechinas HaYem La'Seisam B'Leila Kabos Chodim. But the era of Mashiach, the first 40 years, that's the main primary thing is Avodah. Not Schar, Avodah still.
Mashiach is minimum 80 years old.
Huh?
Mashiach is minimum 80 years old.
Why?
80 and 40, 120 maximum.
Then there's going to be living eternally. What's the difference? And the primary of the primary Aveda of now of Aveda is Yeh B'Meisa Mashiach. Like it's going to be in the days of Mashiach. Why? Before Adam Rishon sinned. Yeah. By the way, Mashiach is going to take the Jews back to the pre-Chet Tzadas era. It happened by Matan Torah. Matan Torah undid the Egel. Undid the Chet Tzadas. Paskazu Amasam. All the impurity, the evil sweat, so to speak, was done by Matan Torah. The problem is, he made an Egel and brought back again the Chet Tzadas. That's why the Egel is so bad. Hashem says, anytime you get me angry, I'm going to bring up the Egel again. Because the Egel was not Stama sin. It was similar to what the Chet Tzadas did. Because Matan Torah undid the Chet Tzadas, and then it happened again. Yemesa Mashiach is going to permanently undo the Chet Tzadas. What happened pre-Chet Tzadas? Adam Rishon was in Gan Eden, La'avda, which is the positive mitzvahs. U'shamar zu mitzvahs le'isasa. Sha'ah is the second column. Sha'ah zayeh b'chinas hayem la'seisim b'tachlis ha'shleimus. That was the ultimate Aveidah, but then he sinned. V'achar kach v'yigorish es Adam Hashem through Adam Rishon out of Gan Eden. And then they came into Eretz Yisrael, bishvul kiyam mitzvahs maisis, kiyam ha-mitzvahs, shakam ha-mitzvahs, pluyim baris dafke. Even in the midbar, they couldn't keep all the mitzvahs because there are a lot of mitzvahs that are dependent on the land, right? Shemitah, Yovel. There's a lot of mitzvahs connected to the land. Kamat arba yadu v'achakar golem misham. Then they went into golus from there. Now we're not able to keep all the mitzvahs until Yemesa Mashiach, which will be b'mhevi ameinu. Then it'll be vayta yem la'seisim b'tachlis ha'shleimus. So the Alter Rebbe is saying very simple. Yemesa Mashiach, the 40 years of Yemesa Mashiach, is the ultimate Avodah of Torah mitzvahs. It was like that in Gan Eden before the sin, but obviously, like we learned many times, you can't say the Eibishter made the Chet in order to go back to the same level. He didn't make the Egel to go back to the same level as Matan Torah. Obviously, you needed Tzedek Aliyah, so it's even a much greater level than it was by Adam Rishon Gan Eden.
So too now,
Huh?
we're living like Mashiach, we're doing mitzvahs now.
No, but a lot of mitzvahs we can't do.
So we're going to do all the mitzvahs.
We're talking about complete, the Avodah, complete mitzvahs. Even the mitzvahs, a lot of mitzvahs we do today, by the way, only with Rabbanim, because in Minat Torah, it's only in Eretz Yisrael.
But the moment that somebody is doing the mitzvah, that particular moment, that's a Mashiach time for that person.
Yeah, but that doesn't last too long.
There was no time in history that this pasuk was actually up to Pshat.
No.
It's that much wine.
No. He says the
full
pasuk.
bracha
The
is
Medrash says there's going to be lots of love.
What is the Arba Yados?
What?
Arba Yados, it says on.
Arba Yodis means 80%.
It doesn't mean 400%.
4/5.
You cheat 4/5.
It's in last week's parsha. I mean this week's parsha. No, last week's. Then the Vayechi, when the guys came to Mitzrayim, and they sold the house, they sold the land, they sold everything. So he said, Arba Yodis will beat the party, and 80% will be yours, and 20% party. Okay, so he said, then we say in davening, Sham Nasaf, and Echaz Karban Es Cheveseinu, Kemitzes Ritzeinecho, meaning She'ik and Amaisi Avedas HaKabanos. The primary level, that's why, by Kabbanis, remember we learned in the other Maimonim of the Alter Rebbe that why only by Kabbanis does it say Reach Nechayach? And the Gemara says, what does it mean? Shamarti v'nasur etzeini. I told you do my will. That applies to every mitzvah. Why only by Kabbanis does it say not Reach? So he said, because the Ma'aser Kabbanis is the primary level, K'mitzvah Sirtzinecha, the primary avoid of a Jew is Kabbanis. Bringing Gashmias, Navshabamis, and Makavit to Kedusha, and every korban had Daimon Samei Chaim Medaber, everything was, the whole world was elevated. Sheinani Yochelim, Lakayim Begolus. That we can't do the korbanis in Golus. Elisha Begolus, Niskana Tfila Keneged Korbanis. In Golus we have davening. Vadayin Ein Zeh Kemitzvah to the Tzein Chamamish. Okay? So now, okay, it's like we're not done yet. But the Alter Rebbe says that the ultimate avodah is Yemei Mashiach. Now we only have davening. Yemei Mashiach will be a Beis Hamikdash, and then we'll bring korbanos. That's the ultimate. So the Alter Rebbe asks, "Lovin zelocheda tefila b'mayla yena yesmei korbanos." How can we say that the ultimate goal is korbanos, and now we only have tefila? The Alter Rebbe asks, "Tefila is greater than korbanos." Shatfila Nesiya Sa'adam, Besipa Shvacha Shomakim, because davening is the elevating of the person in praising Hashem. Baruch Shama Vayechi, all the hallelujahs, until you come to V'ahavta B'chol Nafshecha, right? He said, Mashenke B'karbanis is one nefesh behema. What do we elevate by a korban? The animal soul. I mean, an animal. Tefillah elevates a human. I don't know which one's greater. That's the question. Shabbos was 2, yeah? But if that's the case, and and the ultimate goal of Mashiach is going to be Karbanis, Tefillah and Golus is even higher.